rookie season to 4 in his second year, and his 11 pass breakups was tops on the Jaguars. His on-field performance was rewarded with a first-team All-Pro selection and a trip to the Pro Bowl, the first Jags DB to get both honors in a season in 11 years. And he was part of a Jaguars defense that led the NFL in yards per play and total QBR allowed. Jacksonville had its most successful season in 10 years. Why I'm talking about Jalen Ramsey will become abundantly clear as we go back to Minnesota.
Sports Center on the Road is confidently presented by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans.
And Pro Bowl cornerback, All-Pro from the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jalen Ramsey joins us now. Thank you, David Lloyd. Welcome, first and foremost.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming here. Thank you for joining. What, no cheers for Jalen Ramsey? What do I got to do around here? Thank you. Thank you. Set him straight. Okay, we have loved the past couple of weeks and leading up to the title game and everything.
Yep.
Your prediction on the field after you guys beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Didn't work out so well.
It did
right?
not.
But do you regret it?
No, not at all. If you don't believe in yourself, then nobody else will, right? So I had to, show all our fans and show my teammates, hey, I really believe that we was going to go to the Super Bowl and we was going to win it. Mm-hmm. So that was, I guess, step one. We got to figure out how to make that all unfold next year.
What was the biggest difference in that game? Let me just point out, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Twice you had double-digit leads, and you lost this game. What was the difference? I
don't know. You could probably point out a couple drives, a couple plays, a couple things that happened during the game. One that always sticks out to me when I'm just thinking about the game, when I'm thinking about it in my head, is the drive right before half. We were up 14-3. About to go in the half with a good lead, possibly get our offense the ball back quick to, maybe go up 21-3. We essentially walked them down the field with some penalties, and they got an easy touchdown that took us in the half, 14-10.
That's also when you were overheard by NFL Films microphones saying, listen, we know these guys can come back. We know what they're capable of. I mean, they've played it. And then that's what happened. So it's like you knew it was coming, and you still couldn't stop it. So how do you use that to your advantage in the future?
I guess we just got to keep at it. We did know it, but I guess we have to process it and keep our foot on their necks. We did that a couple times this year with teams, kind of took our foot off their necks when we got up a little bit. So I guess as a young team, we got to learn from that we got to keep that same energy and juice and swagger as we go on throughout the whole game.
But still, what an amazing turnaround for this Jaguars team, and your secondary, a huge part of that. Speaking of you and your secondary, you're good. You're really good.
Yeah.
Like, if you had to rank your secondary with anyone else in the NFL, is that a stupid question? Because I know you're going to say we're the best.
100%. We're at the top.
Question.
We're at the top.
Why?
You got two All-Pro corners on the outsides, me and AJ, and then you have a elite nickelback who was probably performed maybe out of the best of us this year, of us three. And then you got two great safeties. Sean Gibson, we think he's the best covering safety in the league. And then you got Barry Church, who's a savvy vet. And we just all worked very well together. We had a good chemistry. We had a good bond. I really don't think too many people was messing with us.
See, I like the brashness and just honesty there, saying, okay, we're the best. Weren't you trash-talking Tom Brady before the game or in the first half of the game?
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I was. He does his little warm-up where he comes down the field all the way to the other end, and I guess he kind of yells something at his fans to try to hype them up. He came down there where the DBs were warming up at. So, we heard him talking a little bit. We had to say a little bit, too. And I think he had said something like, he had talked a little smack back, and I liked it. So he had said
what
something
did he say back?
I think he said, I'm going to come at you all game or something like that. I was like, hey, I hope you do, because we're going to win if you do that.
Bring it. Here's the best part.
Cool.
This is who you are, and it's been that way since you were a little kid, right?
Yeah.
Ran track at Florida State, and I learned that, nobody was immune from your trash talking, including your long jumper. Go ahead.
Indeed. Florida State, I was a long jumper, but I was also a football player. So in the fall, I'm playing football while all the track athletes, they're still practicing for track in the spring, coming up in the spring. And I still used to go out there and win. I was ACC long jump champion both my years there at Florida State. You know, I was fourth nationally in the NCAA, so I used to kind of let them know, like, hey, I'm only doing this half the year, and y'all still can't beat me. Y'all got to step y'all's game up a little bit.
So we're trash talking on the field football, and we're trash talking in the long jump pit as well. I love
100%.
it. Okay, 10 seconds left. Who do you want to win Sunday?
Oh, I'm going for the Eagles. Not because I don't. Let me explain myself, though. Let me explain myself. You know, Derek Barnett, he was my high school teammate.
Okay.
The DN. And then they got a couple no's. They got Ronald Darby. They got P-Rob. They got Timmy Jernigan. They got Nigel Bradham. So I got to go with the guys who I know.
Listen, if you had said you were rooting for the Patriots, you might not be allowed back in Jacksonville.
I know, right?
So it's a smart answer. It's what he's supposed to say, you guys. Give him a break.
There we go.
Jalen Ramsey, congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
Keep it up. Maybe we'll see you next year in Atlanta.
Hopefully.
Carrie Champion, back to you.
Sage, thanks for that. Cavs All-Star forward. We're going to NBA now. Kevin Love will be out 8 weeks after fracturing his left hand in the first quarter of the Cavs' loss to the Pistons Tuesday. According to the team, he'll undergo a non-surgical treatment in rehab to repair. Oh, gosh. Well, ESPN.com senior NBA writer. I got to put senior in. That's Ramona Shelburne, introducing now here on Coast to Coast. So the Cavs have had a rough January. I think we've talked about it. Trade deadline just 6 days away. Talk to me about what they can do to improve.
Well, look, everything comes down to whether or not they're willing to put the pick that they're going to get from the Brooklyn Nets into any trade right now. Thus far, in calls around the league that I've made, it doesn't sound like they're willing to do that. Like, the most likely scenario is some combination of their own first-round pick, which is probably going to be a late first-round pick, and Iman Shumpert or something of that nature. What the Kevin Love injury does right now is it makes it less likely that they could include a Tristan Thompson in a trade because they flat out need more big men.
Yeah, exactly. They have nothing to give per se. So speaking of trades and here in Los Angeles, I got to ask, my Lakers, I hear they're going to be pretty active. However, I hear that the Boogie Cousins incident, his injury, kind of messed up the plans.
Well, and I think, you know, the Lakers have been very loud about saying we're trying to carve out 2 max contract spots for this summer. And I think one of the things that they always felt was, you know, I think we can all do the math and go, okay, they were thinking about Paul George and LeBron, et cetera, those are the top. But Boogie Cousins was always in their thoughts and plans. And his injury makes them think, okay, that's one of those options that's probably off the table now. He's going to be out for 9 months. You know, maybe you take a flyer on him, but he's certainly not a max guy. And if you do something like that, that's a big risk. So that's kind of something that they had. It was always in their plans. And obviously, they had a trade last year for him, which they got beat out on the offer by New Orleans. But that injury kind of threw them a little in the sense of your idea of your backup plan is off the table now.
So I have a couple of quick questions. Could they possibly go across the street and grab someone there, since the Clippers seem to be giving people away, and the likelihood of LeBron?
I actually think, Carrie, that the Lakers sound less motivated to do anything right now at the trade deadline unless they get exactly what they want, which is a first-round pick or salary cap relief at the trade deadline, because they understand they can do this again at the draft. They can do this again in free agency. And so the idea that they're going to be really active at this deadline. Obviously, next week is when people really put their cards on the table, but I think they're less likely to do something now than you thought.
All right, that's Ramona Shelburne giving us the latest. Hopefully, we will find out more sooner rather than later. Meanwhile, folks, our NBA doubleheader tonight, that's next week, she says. On ESPN, take a look at who we got. Miami, Philly. Joel might be talking trash, I'm not for sure. That's followed by what? That might, I know, right? Steph, KD, and the Warriors in Sacramento trying to bounce back from their blowout loss. Check out NBA Countdown, though, first, 7 Eastern on ESPN and streaming live on the app. But before we get back to Minneapolis, send it over to Bob Lee and see what he has to say.
Top of the hour from here in Studio Z. It's the Friday Four. Jeremy Sheff usually sits in that chair. He is at the Super Bowl. Big mystery. Who will take his place this week on the Friday Four? We've got heroes. We've got villains, and we've got, well, an underreported story you simply will not believe this week. All ahead, Friday 4 Outside the Lines.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it